9.08 second lap, ahead of Joe Francis, 1:48.109. Joe Irving in third place. The Joes always hang out together just to confuse me. Peter Sutherland in fourth place. The second row of the grid has Ed Rendell ahead of Arnie Shelton, Callum Bay and Paul Jordan. The third row, Bradley Hughes even, Asher Durham, Stephanie Wadlow, good performance by the young lady, ahead of John Vincent. And the fourth row, Elliot Lodge, Jake Bayford, James Hobson and Jason Uribe. There are 7 rows in all, plus 1, because all on his own, having made it back from the Red Bull rookies, is little Taron McKenzie, and he's decided that he wants to have a bash riding from the back of the grid here at Oulton Park. His big brother Taylor McKenzie holds the lap record here with a 1 minute 45.637 second lap. So Tom Kahn then, number 17, on pole position here, ahead of Joe Francis, Joe Irving and Peter Sutherland. Round 3 of the Monster Energy British Motostar Championship. When the lights go out, they're on. Or rather, they're off. And as they dive down, Tom Kahn, a little bit bigger than some of the youngsters around him, doesn't quite make it to the first turn. He's just got eclipsed through turn 1, drops down to third place off pole position on the grid as they go pouring down into the sunshine here. And superb conditions here at Oulton Park as we drop through Cascades and head down towards Island Bend. Everybody's safely through, and that looked to me, is that Taron McKenzie tearing through to about halfway up the field already? He was certainly starting from the back of the grid. Oh, Tom Kahn getting in the mix there. He's got Joe Francis and Joe Irving right in front of him. Peter Sutherland, Shelton, Callum Bay, Ed Rendell, Paul Jordan and Stephanie Wadlow as they got down to Shell Oils.
It was Taron McKenzie cutting his way through the field there. He's come on from Jerez, like you say, doing Red Bull rookie duty yesterday. Missed out on practice, but his bike is fairly quick, so he will be able to put himself in a position to kind of nip past us, certainly the lower orders quite easy, I think.
So we'll keep an eye on the second son of Neil McKenzie then as we drop down the hill and into the Hizzy chicane. The first lap of 14 for the Tiddlers here, as that mixture of howling little 125 singles and blaring 250 4-stroke singles as they go up the hill here at Clay Hill. And across the top of the hill, very, very close at the top of the hill. We've got number 66, Joe Irving. We've got a fallen. Number 13's gone down.
Sam Berman.
Sam Berman on the WNT Berman Racing Honda.
Yep.
Number 66, Joe Irving, 16-year-old Holmfirth High School boy, leads the way at the moment, just from Tom Kahn. But Kahn gets outgunned by number 40, Cheshire's Joe Francis, who finished 5th in this championship last year.
Yeah, on the WD-40 market. No! Good move, that.
Francis is quick through the turn.
He is.
Into and out of them.
He is, yeah. Joe Francis, local boy, Cheshireman, he's got Roger Marshall, who's a safety kind of liaison officer here at BSB, helping him. 9 times a British Championship winner back in the 70s and 80s was Roger Marshall.
And down the hill, this time the KTM, oh no, it's on the brakes. The two Joes having wipe out at one another. You can see by the conspicuous colour scheme, it's a WD-40 backed machine, that number 40 of Joe Francis. WD-40, number 40, all makes sense. And just behind him now, number 66. Look at the speed and power of the KTM as they come over the top of Clay Hill and carve it right into Druids. But holding the racing line, Joe Francis is able to hang on to the lead.
Yep.
Third place, by the way, Arnie Shelton. Taron McKenzie has reached 8th place at the end of the last lap. Look at this, 3 abreast on the brakes into the curve, the right-hand launch.
Yeah, and the man on the yellow and blue bike there, Joe Francis, he's really good on the brakes. I've seen that in a couple of corners now. Actually, Joe Irving gets past him just about every straight, and then on the brakes, look, there you go.
Looking back downfield, look at Taron McKenzie. He's now wiped out another 3 places on that lap, and he crosses the line 5th place. He's eaten up Sutherland, Rendell and Jordan on that lap.
Look at that. Take that. Taron currently has to put about 10 kilos of weight on his bike every meeting because he would be under the weight limit otherwise.
Joe there, Joe Francis, that is, number 40 on the WD-40 backed 254 stroke, made a brilliant move there from third to first as they dived into the Shell Oils hairpin. Look under his, once again, under his arm there from number 66, Joe Irving, to see where Tom Kahn is. The answer is, you've probably just seen nothing but number 17 staring at him.
Right there, yeah. So we've got the number 40 bike 250cc Honda 4-stroke, then the 250cc KTM 4-stroke of Joe Irving behind him, and then the 1252 2-stroke of Tom Kahn. There's this considerable speed disadvantage now with these 2-strokes.
And you can see that there is the fastest bike there is the Austrian-built KTM.
Yep. Started
off, of course, as motocross and off-road machines and developed road bikes and then went into road racing with considerable success. And here he is pressing his case, but losing out at the moment to Joe Irving.
If you get a chance, look at these boys, the lines they run, particularly number 17, Tom Kahn, on the slower 2-stroke bike. Just look, a lot wider lines. They try and carry every little bit of speed from mid-corner that they can out onto the next straight. They don't square the corners off and stand the bikes up and open the throttle, because there's no throttle, there's no power to actually punch you out the corner. So it's all about carrying the corner speed through the corner and out the corner.
You think that Taylor McKenzie's lap record of 145.63 seconds sounds blisteringly quick, because these lads are doing 148s and they're not hanging around.
You're right, yep.
On the 5th lap of 14, number 40, Joe Irving, 66. Sorry, Joe Francis, 66, Joe Irving. I knew I'd get them mixed up eventually. Third place, Tom Kahn, 17. Kahn, look at him, working hard on the brakes, swooping into the Shell Oils. And the WD-40 backed bike of Joe Francis still leading the way. The kid who's used to winning championships. He was the British GP 50 champion in 2009, the British GP 70 champion in 2010. This is Taylor McKenzie.
Yeah,
Sorry, Taron McKenzie.
He's not
over the hilltop. He's not far off the leaders now.
He's not. He really isn't. He's
fastest lap of the race, 1:48.682.
Yep, and that is Taron McKenzie, that man there, number 95 on the KTM 4-stroke.
And then once again, as they head, what am I talking about? Through Britain chicane, drop down the hill now towards Knickerbrook and the Hizzy chicane. And this is the point where, straight on goes Joe Irving. He couldn't break the KTM. Now he has to just dip through. He can rejoin behind the leaders. He does that, so he's lost out to Tom Kahn. And of course, he just could become potential target fodder for the charging Taron McKenzie.
This is it, yeah. And really, that was because there was a fair chance he was going to run in the back of Joe Francis, and he elected to sit it up, miss the back of Francis's bike, and go straight on. Cost him a place, though.
Francis bravely underneath Joe Irving as they launch through Druids, and Irving immediately tries to respond with the sheer power of the KTM as they go under the bridge.
And the best thing for McKenzie is he's got just a slight speed advantage.
Oh, and here's Tom Kahn about to lose that third place. No, not quite.
McKenzie's got just a slight speed advantage, certainly on Tom Kahn's, the bike in front of him, the 1252 straight in front. So that means he's going to make it easier for him to get in a position to pass him, which we've just seen there.
I think that was more than slight, wasn't it? And similarly, the two KTMs both swooped past their rivals at that point.
Yep.
So now, Joe Francis is where he doesn't want to be. He's number one target man for Taron McKenzie as Taz goes swooping round the outside, down the avenue, cuts inside, and goes to the front as they go through Cascade. The 11th of 14 laps. The scaldingly fast little son of Neil McKenzie is now at the front.
He's not mucked about there, has he?
Oh, right, he definitely hasn't. He didn't hang around for the slipstream effect.
He didn't.
So Taron McKenzie then from Ashby de la Zouch in the Midlands is now running at the front ahead of the two Joes and Tom Kahn.
It's a brilliant Motostar race this is.
This is the red line. KTM takes the lead.
Yep, down into Cascade, straight up the inside. The only problem there is, can he keep it on the inside of the corner, not run wide and lose speed down the straight? Yes, he can. Brilliant.
Dropping down the hill, Joe Francis having a look inside Taron McKenzie and brilliantly takes him at Lodge Corner. Yeah. So Taron, after working hard all the way through, and is overtaken with a lap to go. Watch the power of the KTM.
Yeah, but watch Francis into Old Hall as back markers come into play. He's gone for a wide line because Taron tried to have a look at the inside of the back marker. That'll probably mean that Francis has a good run down the avenue. And he has.
Taron McKenzie still leads the way now as they go through, but we know how fast Francis is on the entry to the turns, particularly Shell Oils at the end of this straight. So he's got to try and stay tucked into the slipstream. The more powerful KTM down here.
Critical, yep, he has. We know how good he is into the Shell Oils airpit. That's the section after with the one we're at now. That's Ireland. Watch this.
Will Taran be aware of how quick Joe Francis is in here? He won't.
He won't.
He's never been ahead of him at that moment.
Big move, yeah, really nice as well. We know how quick that Joe Francis is there. Look at the power of the KTM now.
Oh, this is going to go right to the wire.
It is. You've got to think that Taran McKenzie is going to be able to get that orange KTM in front of Francis down this next section. Look, gets a good run out. We know the KTM's pretty quick. It's going to happen. If I was Francis now, I'd be defending.
He's not doing. Yeah,
he's gone around the outside. Yeah, really late on the brakes. Dropped it over the outside of McKenzie.
Now Clay Hill, surely, if Taran gets a good run out of here, then he's going to look to drive up Clay Hill on the KTM.
Yeah, the KTM will drive up Clay Hill. I think that Francis will probably get to Druids first, and then I think that Taran will look to be going past into Oulton.
Oh, look at that defensive move by Joe Francis. He moves right across to make sure that there's no room on the inside for Taran.
McKenzie has to now get some mid-corner speed, dragged out the corner, over the rise, and now he should make the KTM's power work. It's not worked.
Do you know, Francis is so fast through the corners.
Yep.
He's made sure he's got a terrific exit speed. And at the moment, it's worked for him. Joe Francis on the WD-40 Honda. Can he make it stick as he comes out of DLE? Brilliant ride by Francis. He responds and he wins it just from Taran McKenzie. And third place goes to a delighted Tom Kahn, leader of the 125 class. Fourth place for Joe Irving. Fifth place for, I think it'll be Arnie Shelton coming over in fifth place. But that was a terrific response from Irving after, and there's Neil McKenzie congratulating the WD-40 boys after a splendid race.
It was a good race.
We thought that Taran McKenzie had done enough to win that on the red line KTM, but what a response by WD-40's Joe Irving, and the two pocket-sized teenagers congratulate one another on a splendid race there. The Energy Motostar Championship, Joe Francis, Moto3, wins it eventually by 55 of a second from Taran McKenzie. Moto3 Redline KTM. That was the WD-40 Honda defeating the Redline KTM of Taylor McKenzie. Third place went to the number 66 RS Racing, the Toad and Tatey Pub KTM of Home First's very own Joe Irving. Fourth place went to number 17 Tom Kahn from Rossendale on the TC Racing SP125 Honda 125, leading the 125 class from Arnie Shelton, Peter Sutherland, Paul Jordan, Callum Bay, Ed Rendell and Elliot Lodge. And lovely slow-mo there of WD-40's Joe Francis, who fought back to win that race. And this is how the Motostar Moto3 Championship looks. Taran McKenzie on 70 points. Joe Francis, that vital win, keeps him well in touch on 65. And then Sam Berman, who cracked.
So what a cracking weekend of racing we've had here from Oulton Park. We've now got a gap of 6 weeks till the next race.